What's up? I'm Joe with OCDetailing, and I'm going to do another wash video today. We do a ton of cars here, and people are always asking us how to maintain their cars. So I've done a couple of these videos in the past, but I'm going to be really in-depth on this one, on exactly what to do. Even though I feel like the other ones were a little informative, I still got a lot of questions, so I'm hoping this will help clear some of them up. There's two ways we like to wash a car. And this is our preferred method, usually the one we tell all our customers, is doing a rinseless type of wash. You know, we're in California, your neighbors look at you funny for hosing down a car, so we like to avoid that by using as little water as possible when we wash cars, and I found it to be very effective and very safe as long as the car's not overly dirty. Don't get me wrong, if the car's like super filthy, you just went mudding in it, or just came back from Tahoe in the middle of the winter, you probably want to rinse it off with a hose before you go into this, but that's all you really need to do. I still would stick with this type of washing. I would just give it a rinse first. I have these two buckets here. They both have roughly 3 gallons of water in them. Both of these buckets have grit guards in them. I have my buckenizers here to hold my wash mitts. These wash mitts are actually Chanel mitts from CQuartz Pro USA. There's a lot of options when it comes to wash mitts, but tried and true, I've used these. They work real great for me, and they're very inexpensive, and they last a long time. So I have a bunch of these in my grit guard bucket. They have this little insert that came out not too long ago at SEMA. It's really cool for scrubbing your mitt on. And a lot of people, you know, like they hear the 2-bucket method, and I do not have 2 buckets here because I'm using 2 buckets to wash the car. I will only be using one. Either of my rinseless wash solutions does a great job of polymerizing dirt and sucking it to the bottom and keeping it trapped underneath my grit guard. So I'm not too worried about that. If I felt like my water got really dirty, or the car was so dirty that it was contaminating my bucket to the point where I was worried about scratching the car, I probably should have rinsed the car off first before I got started. That would be a good sign. So with either one of these solutions, and I'm not going to be super precise here. I got a bottle of CQuartz Pro Echo here. I'm going to make this in this bucket. Usually what I do for my rinse bucket, or for my mitt bucket, I'm going to use about an ounce to the 3 gallons because I don't need this to be very strong. So I've measured this out at like, it's about 1.5 of these caps is the ounce. So now I have that in there. And then I'll take my mitt. I want to soak my mitt in it. I'm going to start mixing it up. Your solution should look something like that. So it's not going to look very strong. The other wash solution I really love, tried and true, is Optimum No Rinse. You know, my opinion on both of these is they work really, really, really well. There's something in Echo that leaves the paint feeling slick and adds a little extra bling that I really like about this one. As far as like the way it reacts with contaminants on the surface or the way it polymerizes dirt, I don't see a huge difference between the two. They both work really, really well. This one is really economical. Like I mean, Echo is not expensive by any means, but this gallon makes like the 246 gallons of solution. So using the same dilution ratio, again, using a little bit bigger capsules, about 2 of these caps is going to go in here. And you don't have to be super precise with this, right? I'm going to mix my solution up like that. Same thing, I got my buckenizer with my mitt. And in case you're wondering what a buckenizer is this handy dandy thing that I have attached to my bucket that lets me store stuff in there so I'm not constantly putting it back in my wash medium. So now I've got my 2 buckets of solution mixed up. So these are ready to go. Now I have pump sprayers. This pump sprayer right here, these are 2-gallon pump sprayers from Smith. I use these because we use them a lot, and I found some of the cheaper ones from like Home Depot or like the Garden Pro or whatever they are. They tend to break a lot and they don't last very long. The ones for like weed sprayers, I think that's what this was made for, but this one seems to be very durable because it can survive the shop and my employees and all of us being busy and using it a lot and not breaking. So inside of this though, I want to use either deionized or distilled water, like for my solution, because this is going to sit, because you're going to quickly realize that this 2 gallons actually is going to last a very long time. One of my employees made this yesterday, and they filled this up more than they should have. but you're actually only supposed to fill it to there so you can get decent air pressure over it, but that's okay for the demo. So this one has Optima no rinse in it. Beep. Both of these is going to be a little bit stronger. So for each gallon, I'm gonna want to use 2 ounces on either one because I want my sprayer medium to be a lot stronger than my wash medium here. I use distilled water in both of these because these are gonna wash your car a lot of times. The 2 gallons will do it a bunch. You can even use a smaller 1 gallon pump sprayer if you don't want the big one. It's a little bit easier to carry. I kind of hate wasting money on stuff that breaks a lot, so when I use a 1 gallon sprayer, I use this one. This is an Impact Pump Up Junior sprayer. And again, the reason I recommend these certain ones, they may cost a little bit more than the one from Ace or whatever, or Home Depot, but they last. They're really durable. So what I found is you can beat up one of these pretty good before you'll break it. Same thing with these pump sprayers. And you know, if you don't want to drag around the 2 gallons a little heavy, this actually works really well too. We use these all the time too. All right, now that we got the first part of that down, go ahead and get settled in, and we're gonna get set up for part 2 of this video where we're actually washing the car behind us. I know the last couple times I did videos, people were like, oh my god, that car's so clean. No wonders you wash it so easy. Well, this one behind me is filthy, so it's like, I got a good example here for you of us cleaning this car up.